We're here with our first edition of What's on Your Mind. I'm here with varsity golfer Nate Vonderhaar. We got Afaq Khan, a Mason High School student.
Roshan Mehta.
Divine and Ngassa.
And in this series, we're going to talk about whatever's on our mind, whether it's March Madness, what's going on in the Chronicle, whatever's coming up soon for any of us personally, just anything. So, Nate, being a varsity golfer, how was it being a freshman on varsity this year and making a true impact, being player of the year and stuff like that?
It was pretty exciting, It was good to get all the experience that I got throughout this first year on varsity. It was really exciting down the stretch to play in the late tournaments that I did, districts, sectionals. And I thought it was really fun and exciting to get all that experience throughout this entire season.
Do you ever get nervous when you're playing, or does it ever just get too competitive, you think?
I think towards the beginning of the season, yes, I would get nervous throughout the start of tournaments, but I think as the season went on, my nerves just kind of went away, and I started to get in that competitive state to where I just blocked out everything.
I mean, you probably calmed down because you realized you were the best, so it was probably easy for you, Do you agree? Probably. I mean, this guy's pretty humble, so I don't think he'll agree to that. But we can say he calmed down because he's pretty good. And Nate, you got a pretty good lineup so far of some awards, and I don't know your values on winning those stuff. But what do you think about the MHS ESPYs? Are you planning on going?
I'm excited for them. I think it's really cool, the production that the high school puts on, and I think it's my first year, so it'll be exciting to see what it holds and how the production is.
Awesome. I think you're definitely probably, in my opinion, probably going to be nominated for something like Breakthrough Athlete or Male Athlete of the Year, but we'll definitely see what the nomination committee comes up with when we find out the winners in May.
I mean, speaking of basketball, I'm pretty sure the March Madness is coming up. Roshan, do you have any ideas or just any predictions on what's going to happen?
I don't really know yet, but I have a feeling San Diego State's going to get upsetted early. Anyone agree or disagree with that?
I agree with that. I think San Diego State's not the strength of the team that people think they are. I think playing in the Mountain West, they play at a real disadvantage because once it comes tournament time, they're not going to play against these teams. They're going to play against stronger teams that even the higher seeds may be better than some of the teams that they've played in their conference in the Mountain West.
Yeah, and I think there will be another Cinderella story, another Loyola team.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, I think there's so many teams that have a chance this year. I think there's so many teams that can beat anybody but can also be beat at any time. So I think this year's going to be one of the most interesting March Madnesses yet.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of upsets. There's been so many changes in the number one seeds this season and stuff. It's constantly changing.
Mm-hmm. I think top 5 seeds have almost lost. I think top 5 seeds have lost a lot. Once I've seen a trend in teams getting to the top 5 and then losing maybe 1-2 games in a row and falling deep down into the rankings.
Yeah, they can't hold the spot.
It's just a lot of things to look forward to. I feel we have ESPYs coming up,
March Madness.
And
Summer's getting close.
We're over here taking a look at the Chronicle. It just happened to be sitting over here on our desk here in the studio. And Afaq, what do you have in front of you? That seems pretty interesting to me.
It's an article. It's talking about fears of coronavirus. I don't know if it's being serious or not. The coronavirus. I mean, I haven't really seen anything. I just feel there's a disease every year that goes by and people always panic, but it talks about how it's disrupting local Chinese cultural events.
Yeah, I read this actually, and it was about the Chinese New Year event that they were going to have going on, and I think it's pretty bizarre. I think that this whole story actually really tells the truth here. Like how it's crazy that we canceled an event just because the coronavirus originated in that area. But really, definitely check out the Chronicle. There's some pretty good stories going on in here.
And yeah, I think the U.S. is doing good about keeping the coronavirus out of the U.S.
Yeah.
Like I haven't even seen anyone like in Mason that's had to deal with this. Like I saw like someone apparently in Miami or somewhere apparently had it, but then later up like it was like just a false alarm. They didn't even have it. So like I don't know why they're making this such a big deal. Like it's just a virus, you know.
Yeah. Well, definitely 53 people in the United States right now. I checked on the news last night, so. But yeah, it's definitely something to do more research into if you're interested in what's going on with that, and if you want to make sure that you're safe, then definitely search it up. Check out the Chronicle story from let me check, or I'll give her the credit because that's what we do here. And Vedikal, I hope I didn't butcher your name. I apologize. The last names are always hard, especially when it's Nate Vonderhaar.
This other article I just
No, we don't need to talk about this one.
All right, yeah, you're probably right.
It's probably a good idea not to. Did anyone see any good movies lately?
Bad
I-
Boys.
Oh, yeah,
I
Bad
didn't
Boys
see
was
that,
good.
but
I haven't been to a movie in a while.
Same. I feel like I haven't watched a movie in like such a long time. I mean, I'm either just watching like YouTube or like Netflix.
Good Boys.
Yeah.
how did you think of Bad Boys?
Oh, it was a pretty good
It's
movie.
Good?
It was the best one out of the three. Pretty exciting, even though they're a lot older, both actors now, Will Smith and Lawrence.
Oh, I saw that. I forgot. Oh my
It was
gosh,
a
I
pretty
did
good
see it. It
movie.
was actually pretty
The plot
entertaining.
was good, and it had
Yeah.
a surprise ending.
Yeah, it was definitely, there was a lot of plots within the movie going on.
I'll say it's a great movie out of the three.
Out of what, 3?
The Bad
Oh
Boys
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah,
series.
yeah. Okay, I'm going crazy today, as always. But it was definitely like when I thought the movie was over, it was like more was going on. But it was a pretty good movie.
I'm looking at this article in the Chronicle. I think it's an older edition of the Chronicle, but it's what if, like it's a sports thing, and it's what if some rules were changed here. The staff writer is Matthew Smith, and it's just weird. Like some of them, as if like so in basketball, one person says, as a shooter, I would love a 4-point line. It definitely would make defense a little tougher, but it would really help me on offense. And I think just some of these rule changes would really mix up the game and really would give the game a different aspect, kind of like the XFL almost has, in the how it's differentiated itself from the NFL with the kickoff, some of the passing rules. I think some of it's just making the game a little bit more interesting and having people look at a different aspect of the game.
Speaking of the 4-point line, a league called Big Three by Ice Cube currently has that in it. And it's kind of like the XFL to NFL, but just towards NBA, where they play from only half court and play to a certain score, and have like a 4-point line and stuff.
Yeah, I know the Big Three. I've watched a couple of those, and they're interesting. Like the 4-point line, it's like if you need that 4-point shot, it's there for you when you need it, and it's interesting. It gives people a different look on how they do it.
Yeah, it was a pretty good idea by Ice Cube. Speaking of the 4-point line, how do you seniors who went through 4 years of high school feel about your last year graduating, senioritis?
Dude, honestly, like, it was a rough 4 years. Like, it was a rough 4 years. I definitely changed throughout, I can tell. Like, when I first came to school, I was way different from where I am now. I feel like Mason High School had a big influence on that.
Was it good or bad? Good.
It was good. You know,
Yeah.
it helped me be the person I want to be. And it's going to keep just pushing me, you know, to be that person one day.
What about you, Jackson?
I will tell you, senioritis is a real thing.
Facts.
Right.
You think you have it junior year, but you don't. because you still have to do the ACT, or maybe you already did, but you still have to apply for college and all that stuff. So you definitely don't have senioritis if you're a freshman, sophomore, or junior. I thought I had it, but wait until you're a senior. And then also, like, seriously, I know this is cliche, and we always say it a lot, but you know, enjoy high school, because
enjoy all of
honestly,
it. I'm gonna miss this so much.
yeah,
Are you really gonna miss it?
Yes, bro. Like high school, nobody really understands high school until you don't have high school anymore.
and then when you leave,
You're like,
you have to
dang,
be
I want to
real.
go back. I don't want to work all day and make money. I want to go to school and talk to Mr. Connor.
And live
have-
at my parents' house.
Like,
Oh,
So
Yeah.
speaking of college, like where do you guys want to attend or planning on attending?
I plan on attending Ohio University.
and I plan on attending University of Cincinnati.
Interesting. You guys both stay in state. Did staying close to home, was that part of the decision?
Yes. First of all, it's cheaper just to stay in state, and I wanted to stay closer, but I haven't heard back from UC yet, and it's almost March. So definitely think that they don't. I applied for a special program.
Yes.
So college conservatory probably just doesn't want me there, and a bunch of other of my friends applied for that same, and they haven't heard back. So looks like we're not going to UC.
Now speaking of college, what do you guys want to do in college?
are you majoring?
Well, I'm majoring in strategic communications. I'm really hoping for a cool program like Comet TV when I go into college, because junior year I started that, and I really felt that I liked it, and I had a passion for it, and I just want a cool program that I feel I belong to, that I can keep doing what I love.
And I'm majoring in business, but honestly, I'm still like thinking about my decision. Like, I'm still, deciding whether I actually want to do that or something else. It takes time to really figure out your passion for what you want to do, and if you really want to do that for the rest of your life. So, I don't know. I'll take all the opportunities I can get.
So speaking on making a hard decision on what you want to major in college and maybe do for the rest of your life, a lot of kids I feel like are being pushed to know what they want to do earlier on in life and being asked a lot more frequently what they want to do as they come up as freshmen, sophomores, and juniors before they're even remotely thinking about college. Do you think that affects kids in some way or makes them feel pressured to make a decision early?
I feel like most of the pressure usually comes down to who they spend their most time with, whether it's their parents or just their friends. I feel as if your parents might have a really big impact. For me, especially growing up, they've always wanted me to go to towards that medical field, becoming either a nurse or some sort of a doctor. But honestly, every kid's different. It's honestly up to that kid on what he prefers to do, what he enjoys doing. Jackson, what about you?
I think, at first I wanted to be an engineer, and that obviously isn't true anymore, because I took an engineering class junior year and realized, okay, this is not for me. I kind of it's too hard, too much math, and I
Yeah.
don't like that, and I want to sit at a desk all day.
Speaking of job professions, Nate, Divine, what do you guys want to do?
Maybe engineering.
I don't know. I've thought about engineering, kind of but it could change at any
Yeah, once
point.
you take engineering one, you might change your mind.
That's how I'm taking it next year.
I know
Yeah.
people that are 1 year into college and still don't know what they're majoring in. They're still it's a
I know.
lot of-
They just didn't happen to find their passion.
yeah.
I know people who went all 4 years, got a degree, and then realized that they didn't want to do that
Yeah.
anymore and had to go back to do more classes to figure out what they're more passionate about.
And that's normal because switching majors that's common for most students because if you have any some sort of degree of you just not liking that course or what you're doing or anything, you can easily drop out. But for some people, like you said, they get pressured and then end up doing something they don't like, and then at the end they just regret doing it and have to start over.
Nate, you could also be a professional golfer.
Oh yeah, you could easily be a professional golfer.
Like maybe the next Tiger Woods or something.
Yeah.
You
So,
know, that's
Nate-
that's a stretch goal for me, but that'll probably be down the long run if I. It just depends. I mean, I still have a lot of time to decide and figure out what I want to do, and if it's for me, then yeah, I'll try. I'm gonna probably go out and give my best effort at it, but maybe down the road it doesn't work out or something changes. But yeah, it's definitely an opportunity that I can try and seize.
And maybe like trying to be the next Tiger Woods is a little too much. Like,
Yeah, it might be a little
his
too much.
position's a little too much, you know. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's won a lot.
So Nate, I see that your last name's Vonderhaar.
Yes.
Do you have any connection to the Vonderhaar company in Cincinnati?
I do have a connection. They are. I want to say they're either my first or second, maybe third cousins, really, in relation to me. The catering business is, and yeah,
It's a really hard, really, really difficult industry, right?
yeah, it is. It's interesting. So even at my house, we have some souvenirs back when we also had like a dairy company back in the day. So it's cool to see like my family history and see how big my family actually is. Like, although I have a weird last name and you would think, oh, like this is so uncommon, I have such a bigger family than like I probably even think still to this point.
You definitely have a lot of smart people in your family and skilled people. 'Cause you don't see my last name on any companies or anything like that, but you can definitely see, Vonderhaar on the side of trucks. I've had some Vonderhaar food. It's pretty good. I was
Mhm.
really hoping that it was like one of your parents that were in that company, but it's okay. Cousins are good too, right? They're third cousins or fourth cousins.
Mhm.
Yeah, I feel like I kind of relate with you, Nate. Like my last name Khan. Like some of my family owns Khan Academy. You've heard about it before.
Oh yeah, what about Khan's Wieners
Yeah, they sell that too.
at the grocery store?
Yeah.
Khan's Meats. Yeah.
Are you related to them?
Yeah. Like the creator of Khan
Sal.
Academy. Yeah, Sal. That's my uncle.
It'd be cool to have Uncle Sal if I could have my own Uncle Sal, but nah, he repeats stuff too much, and I can't deal with that,
Yeah.
But definitely a skillful tool to use if you're struggling with math. Definitely go check out Khan Academy. We're not sponsored with them, but we should be soon. But yeah, definitely go check out Khan Academy.
Speaking of math, guys, what's your grade in math right now? Are you guys
Right.
struggling? Succeeding?
I have a C minus.
I have a B.
That's a display of what a senioritis looks like. But I'm hoping to get it up. I don't know if my teacher, Mr. Wyatt's listening. Probably not, because whenever I tell him to go check out NBC and Comet TV, he never really does. Some of my teachers are good about that. Sorry to change the topic, but like whenever I'm telling them about that,
Yeah.
they're like, "Yeah, I'll check it out," and they never check it
They
out.
just never.
Like Mr. McKee never checks it out when I tell him he should. I think the teacher, the real one that does what I tell them to do, definitely would be Miss Puma. She's just always there, and she's a big fan of Comet TV and the big IMI program. She was a part of it last year, so we miss her. We dearly do.
Who would you like? Top 3 like best teachers at Mason? Go.
Best 3 teachers
Like,
at
most
Mason.
most memorable.
Like out of all of
All 4 years. Top 3.
Oh, high school, I was gonna go with like what's going on like in the district.
So go. What do you think?
Okay, I've never had Mr. Fox as a study hall
Oh,
teacher,
yeah.
but like he seems pretty
Oh my
nice.
God, he's so nice.
But that's the obvious guess. Like obviously everyone knows he's just so nice. Miss Puma, I gotta give her a shout out. She's just great. Always there. There's probably a teacher I'm forgetting, and I apologize if you're listening and I forgot to say your name. That's my two. Mr. Getz.
Mr. Yes. Oh my God. Dude, he's like a father to me, honestly. Like he nurtured me when I was young.
He knows how to teach you. He knows how to teach you life skills,
Yes.
but I don't know if he knows how to teach like the course.
That's what I like about certain teachers when they just like teach you about like the real world besides just like algebra or anything. Like when they just talk to you like on a personal level. Like
Yeah,
have you guys ever experienced like you're just like,
Oh, Mr. Getz.
what did he say?
When he told you to stop writing all over the calendar.
Yeah, I feel like that was
Yeah.
definitely
Like,
That
don't
was
write
something-
over someone else's calendar because you're going to realize that when you go into the real world and you're writing all over someone else's calendar in their office and you're like the mailman in the mailroom and you're up there writing on their calendar, they're going to fire you and that's not going to be good.
Speaking of teachers, guys,
Hoodie.
which class do you think was the hardest throughout high school?
Geometry was pretty easy actually. I think the class that I wanted to
Like, what would you say is the hardest class at William Mason High School?
I've heard A push is a very difficult course. Have any
I
of
never
you
took
taken it?
that.
What about chemistry? That's what I've heard too.
I was gonna,
I made it with the D, I think. No, I made it with a C or a B, so I'm pretty proud of that. But I don't think it was the hardest. I think so far the hardest was either English 3 or English 4.
No AP classes?
English.
You don't think
Oh, I took AP Psych, but that's easy.
Really?
did you have Miss Johnston?
No, I had Mr. Reedy.
Reedy?
I always want to call him Paul. It's like that's just.
Yeah.
Speaking of AP, speaking of AP, what do you guys think about AB with the Steelers? Do you think he'll make a return back to the NFL?
No, I don't think so because too many charges.
He just had too many.
Sorry,
He's
I was
had too much publicity. He's had too much negative publicity to the point where no team is gonna want that much negativity surrounding their team, and people want more positivity and less negativity, and they don't need somebody coming in and making a ruckus of their team and almost screwing up their program.
Speaking.
Alright, so that will be all for this podcast. Please tune in and hopefully soon we'll have another one.
Thank you guys for checking us out, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks. Like for part 2.
Like and
Yeah.
subscribe.
Get us sponsored by
Smash
Khan
that
Academy.
follow button. Wait, what? Smash the like button.